4-man mosh pit followed by Entomb. Oh no!
Oh, a huge light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're going to follow up, and they're going to get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's going to be everybody dying. Oh my god, when does this happen? Everybody's dead.
G'day. Welcome to another Nexus Gaming Series cast. I just realized I have an update of a title, so let me just pop in a good old Greg versus Collecting Countless Stars, as we have a Division C West game today. I remember to update the actual division for once, so that's a nice change, but I just forgot to change the names. Excellent. Good to see we're off to a rocking start. Anyway, we do see it is Greg facing off against Collecting Countless Stars. Greg had banned out Towers of Doom and Braxis Holdout, while Collecting Countless Stars banned out Sky Temple and Volskaya Foundry. And that leads us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Well, yeah, I do know the results actually for the series. I don't really want to see how it goes. So again, I won't know who first picks and who Matt picks. So I guess we'll just go up to surprise. So what I'll do now is I'll hop on into the game and let's get the show on the road, so to speak. So here we go. On the left-hand side of Greg, we have Chim Chim on Lunara, Synthesis on Orphea, Corrosive is on the Brightwing, Sneck is on the Gazlo, and Climbable Unk is on the Beetle itself, the Nubrak. And on the right-hand side, we have Mind on the Li Ming, Hoku is on the Artanis, Cathasia is on Joanna, Demon 13 on, I can only assume, is Rhaegar, and ES Cypher is on the Junkrat. So pretty good zone control by the side of, very good zonal control comp from the side of Collecting Countless Stars. Meanwhile, there's a straight more dive, team fighty style of things from the side of Greg. So we've got a bit of a counter engage versus counter gauge here, which will be interesting to see how this goes. It's a story as old as time. And we see Wavecare Advantage does go over first to the side of Collecting Countless Stars, but Greg's not going to be too deterred by that as they do get all those gems. Well, yeah, there's not really too much else to say about that, as we do see that the side of Collecting Countless Stars are a bit tight in the rotation for a moment. Climbable Unk is just walking through that middle area, seeing what they can do to at least eat traps as need be. And we can actually see that those beetles are going to be taking Li Ming shots, so may help in the long run actually, seeing that Li Ming, hopefully the Li Ming isn't able to get too much value with Greg doing that, but obviously I also like to see him get value. And actually, we see Joanna is going to go down first. Orphea finding that kill. Also, I hope you're doing well today, Corrosive. And I guess I should say that when I'm doing replay casts, I don't actually have a delay. I only have delays when I'm doing live casts, as that is kind of the rules around things. You don't want anyone stream sniping the other side. So obviously there can't be any stream sniping when the game is already done. Meanwhile, we have a good little brawl happening down here as per... I wonder if Hoku is stacking. No, we have amateur opponent actually from the Artanis. Not something you see very often. Usually we get a little bit greedier from the side of... From an Artanis, we usually see Protector of Io. Protector of Io usually does pretty well when you're trading 1v1, but we're getting both heroes mounting, just slowly collecting orbs and such. Yeah. The only quest we actually see here for once is Orphea's Dread at level 1, whatever it's called, Growing Nightmare. So if she hits 3 heroes with a single use of E, that will get an extra 80? 50% damage plus 100% damage essentially. Wait. Yes, plus 100% damage eventually. But base fit line plus 50%, so still a decent amount. Not anything to really scoff at. You can see 4s are now found. Junkrat is actually going the Q quest, not something you see very often either. Taste for Explosions can do very well. This map is probably one of the better ones for it. You typically see Trap Build. Trap Build is very popular. Chattering Teeth is almost always a pick at level 4. And I feel like this is the least picked, even less than the Concussion Mine build here. But we can see now the side of Greg are doing the camp quite diligently. They're being on that quick, as we do see Actually, not choking pollen. Wait for what it's called. Blossom Soul is picked up. So we're probably going to see that burst build as this objective. Both camps are going down. Both camps already found. One go down at the after. We see that Sneck is turning in, gets them their 13 before they can lose them. And actually, both teams pretty much the same point near objective. Both teams are going to be relatively close. Oh, yeah, both teams are going to be relatively close to turn at the same time. There is a roughly about, not too many in it. It looks like Greek's slightly ahead, but they do have slight wave clear advantage as this wave is yet to be picked up. Capsia actually taking a lot of damage, having to back out. Synthesis getting hit with a decent chunk of damage there as well. Not quite willing to go in, but that is why I guess we do see that Dread build coming in at level 1. Climbable Unk is getting what they can of the gems. They decide not to get the last one. It's safer getting out than dying at least. Better for you guys in the long run. Better for your health if you don't die. Fun fact. Now we can see Kafzia has rejoined for Frey. I should also mention Subdue was picked up, but that's always picked up. It is the common one. And both teams have Turner now. If you can see these kind of bars down here glowing in the bottom right, that means Vera's turned in, which I'll show a better example later once one team is turned in, and we can see that more clearly. Alright, both teams are stalling each other out. Sippers is doing a lot of work there to make sure that the side of collecting countless stars can't do it. Phase shift coming out onto them to make sure they stay alive. And Anubrak does actually get the turn in despite Beetle slowly giving him away. Nearly the triple hit there by Synthesis with that Dread at level 1, but didn't quite get it. It didn't pop in time. And now we see Burst Build Lunara coming through. We see level 7s are through for both teams. So I'll briefly open up those talents so everyone can have a quick look in. Interesting, we see Bogged Down. It's not one that is usually picked. I know I like Silence Traps here. Junkrat, I love Silence Traps. Whatever it's called. As there's such a hassle to deal with. Just as your silence, having nothing to defend yourself can be dangerous, especially if you have a healer trapped in it. But let's see how this goes, as the side of Greg are now going to start pushing into the forts with those web weavers. So we see this already gate is starting to go down. We see top tower is down, bottom one going down just now. Greg playing relatively safe here, not wanting to risk too much for this one objective, as they've got a decent amount of power there. Mind getting hit with a decent sized chunk of weight. Alright, we do see Mind Devour as well, good. We did see him first E, I didn't actually notice for level 7E. Nice polymorph from Joanna. Yep, here's what I was trying to point out before. If it's glowing, that means you have turn-in. Ignore that number there, I'm just going to put my mouse here. If it's glowing like this, it means turn-in. If not, you don't have turn-in. Like, if you just don't want to look at it, do the maths. We see Kafzia is about to get 25 in. And they actually do so before Chim Chim is able to see him. Does get the poison onto ES Cypher and Kafzia though. You know, Orphea, it is top with that vision just below her. They'll see Demon coming up and just... That's bad timing of that disappearing. I was going to say, they'd probably see Demon coming up, but we see Demon to just walk straight past her and just go get that top wave. Like the diligent dog they are. I'm more talking about Rhaegar there. I'm not calling Demon a dog. I want to point this out. I am not going to be that rude to someone. We see Kafzia is stopped in their track. ES Cypher gets hit with a decent W while Corrosive was getting while Corrosive was getting chased out. A lot of poke coming out. That one Beetle just saving a decent chunk away from the Brightwing in terms of damage. This Brightwing, not the best healer at healing themselves. They're a bit of an Ana to say the least, but not the best healer at healing themselves by any means. Yeah, I thought that was gonna... That's not what I wanted. As I say, I thought that was gonna happen. So I need to zoom back out. So for heroics, we do see Black Hole on the Gazlowe, Thornwood Vine Lunara, Blinky Brightwing, Locust Swarm Anubarak, and Crushing Jaws on the Orphea. Corrosive actually gets hit with that Disintegrate from Li Ming, doesn't quite go down there, however. We also see Riptide, Junkrat, we see Suppression Pulse, Artanis. We see a fight coming out, actually cooldowns being used, not quite anyone being found. We also see Falling Sword Joanna and Ancestral Healing on Rhaegar. And we actually see that Artanis did get the turn in bottom, still has 14 gems, so we must have had like honestly 34 by the time they turned in. But I'm not going to bother going back to check that, as that takes time. As this replay viewers, as anyone who's looked at replays via Heroes of the Storm knows, is actually kind of garbo. But no, we do have Red Web Weaver phase, and this should be a good push from the side of collecting countless stars, I imagine. It's a 7-minute, borderline 8-minute objective. They are going to do a decent amount of damage. Top web we've already down, bottom one slowly getting whittled. We can see that Snick is not quite wanting to commit to it immediately. We see Demon suck back in. That's a nice... Oh no, Falling Sword actually keeps Joe alive. However, that still will be the Rhaegar going down. Then Climbable Uncle finds the Joanna. Junkrat now with 37 gems. Climbable Uncle, however, the only one on him. The rest are clearing objective. A little bit of miscommunication there from Greg as well. Some of them burnt down the Web Weaver while the others were chasing the kill. So it's a bit hard to say who was making the correct call there. As maybe Fort went down without a Nubrak, maybe it didn't. It's hard to tell. But then again, maybe the Junkrat died and they lost all the gems if the team chased Junkrat. It's interesting to see that at least. But we do see Climbable Unk does have now 24 odd gems. And we do see Phase Shift going to camp, helping Chim Chim get that. Meanwhile, we do see ES Surfer and Demon 13 did just pick up Bruiser Camp for the side of collecting countless stars. So they are going to try to get that handed in just a moment. And it looks like no one is wanting to bother ES Cypher with that. And actually, Hoku has the rest of the turn, and they have more than the rest of the turn, as they are going to well and truly get there. About 10 left. Oh, 5 left. Math's a bit off. But at the end of the day, it is still collecting countless stars with that turn. Go, my Web Weavers. Slaughter them all. Right. So, Web Weavers once again for collecting countless stars. We'll have to see how this goes first. It's actually step for step so far. We're sure we have kills over the side of Greg, but there's a structure in favor of collecting countless stars. So, it all adds up to be relatively even in terms of experience gain. We see Riptide actually used very early. Climbable Unk is the one being chased by it. However, we see Riptide did hold a bit too long in those tower ranges and is the first... is actually going to go down without being detonated properly. So it may have just been better for Junkrat to rip it. Now we see mid-Web Weaver doing defend. Gazlo's going to do their best to clear this out. It does get a nice stun onto Hoku, so Hoku is going to be slowed down. Web Weaver going down. Rest of the minions not long after. Looking back up here, we can see decent hits coming in from Mind. Mind getting good damage onto them. A very rooted Anubrak, but nothing there to quite get back on top of them. Sorry, give me a moment. There we go. And we can now see that the side of Collecting Countless Stars is very much wanting that bottom fort. Runs at it, sneezes on it, just a big and they take it. Good stuff by Collecting Countless Stars there. Blue Web Weaver's done immediately. They're not wasting any time this time getting that turn in straight away. Want to see if they can open up top. We can see a ping coming up top. And that is going to be Climbable Unk seeing them before they get all the way up. Nice double stun. We heard Hoku was in the middle of queuing. And actually that will be the Orphea going down first. We can see aggression coming out from Climbable Unk with those 40 gems. So you actually have to be careful to not die. Goes back in, gets a nice double stun onto Hoku, but now it doesn't have their escape up. Swap is not used. Hoku just uses the dash to go through. And that is just the Orphea of Synthesis going down here. Right, we do now see Web Weaver is getting ran up to. Chim Chim taking a little bit of those arcane missiles, but honestly, Joanna, Capsia is getting all up in there, and that is actually Anubrak and Snick getting relatively low. Corrosive tries to blink heal Snick up. The team is too far away. Chim Chim does double back to help Corrosive get out, and Corrosive is able to blink heal to safety. But these are 2 kills during a Web Weaver phase that honestly you usually are pretty safe with getting a decent amount, but missing at least 1 or even 2 heroes during this phase really helps nullify it, as it is much easier for the side of a defending side to clear after you get those 2 kills. And we can see that, yeah, the side of collecting countless stars kept top fort. They kept mid towers both up. Bottom barely goes down, but that's because even with amateur opponent, it does take Artanis a little bit to clear the whole wave with it. Right, I was checking something, wasn't I? Give me a moment. No, I'll do that later. Right, we see Mind is going to turn in. We see now that the side of Greg do take top. They're like, actually, We're not quite wanting that to stay up. Let's just give it a good old slapperoonie and get rid of it. I mean, what we do see now, we're getting very safe rotations from both teams. Gazlo is probably the most far one away, but we may see that they are called up soon enough. But no, it looks like Collecting Countless Stars aren't quite wanting a fight yet, despite them having a 16 advantage. Now is probably the time they should indeed take it, but they aren't going to quite at the moment, which, it's a fair choice. I would have probably tried to force something there if I was in 16s, which are now null, or at least nullified a little bit, as Greg has picked them up. My gripes continue. If I see the permanent life-stealing locust, I swear. I know, okay, I will give that Climbable Unk is actually a very good maneuver. Mechanically, they're very good at it. But I just do question that sometimes. So we do actually see Swap coming into Climbable Unk. Brightwing does phase shift onto him, which is good, because Climbable Unk did take a lot of damage in a very small process. Falling Sword is going to go directly on top of their head. That's a little bit too much damage, even though Brightwing is trying their best to keep him alive. Excellent Gravel Bomb, but no, Ancestral Healing will keep Demon 13 up. However, that'll be the Li Ming going down, as Ancestral need to go on the Rhaegar. But there we see Anubrak is traded for Li Ming, so we lost a decent amount of a front line now. Corrosive escaping from Hoku. Hoku seeing if they can maybe get a cheeky swap, but no. Instead, it's Junkrat going down. Synthesis gets very aggressive onto them. Going to try their best to stay alive. That Q's and E's doing so much. We see a nice double stun, and that's actually Orpheus being able to live a little bit longer. Hoku is going to die to a poison, maybe? Oh, no, Kefsir goes down to the burst. Hoku may be soon to follow. They're holding on for dear life, but no, they'll be them going down, as that is a 5-man kill for the side of Greg. Collecting Countless Stars. Not quite the fight they wanted, but hey, it's the one that Greg needed. Sure, they at least got one tank with it, but now they're maybe potentially facing Boss and Turnin by the time they're even getting those final respawns coming through. As we do now see Li Ming and Anubrak are up. And it looks like Snick is going to go Turnin. They have the Turnin alone for Greg. 15 they have, 13 they need. So that should be Boss plus Turnin. Now, in saying that, last time Greg had a Turnin, it did not go well for them. So it could very much be that Collecting Countless Stars does get another 2 quick kills like last time. But again, we're even talents. This should be interesting. Maybe a bit premature on the suppression pulse here. Maybe it may have been better saved for the actual fight. But in saying that, let's see how this goes. As Weird Weavers are dropping now. Rip Tire used. Bit indecisive with this tire. Making up their mind. Think about it. The tire's been drinking. It's drunk. We see Climbable Unk does get stunned on the tire. However, doesn't quite anyone get anyone. However, they are now stuck in fort range, taking a lot of damage in process. Ancestral Healing going out into Hoku. Kefsir did use Falling Sword there. And Boss and Web Weaver are down. This fort barely holding on, and we're getting actually a chase now. Snick in danger. Climbable Unk seeing if they can help him getting a little bit of stun action onto him. Orthea completes her E-Quest. That's her level 7 done now. Climbable Unk is taking at least some damage, but no, that is Synthesis getting thrown well and truly into the range of a fort, and that will be dead. Snick with Spell Armor not quite able to live, and that is Chim Chim going down as well on that Lunara. Meanwhile, we see Corrosive and Climbable Unk are backpedaling still. Safety is still a little bit away. ES Cypher trying their best to get on top of him. That Burst Fire not quite finding the kill. And that will be a 3-man kill for the side of Collecting Countless Stars. So much like last objective phase where Greg had the Web Weavers, it once again did not go in favor. However, Mind is going to get caught out, halving a little bit too aggressively. And that will be the kill onto Li Ming. So while not the best fight of the world for Greg, they did at least get some value in the end there, making the 3 for 1 a 3 for 2 by the end. Is Hoku going to get found out before Anubrak can get there? Anubrak burrows in last seconds, gets a nice double stun on Hoku. However, Hoku may be quite difficult for Anubrak to kill. Corrosive now has joined the fray. They do have a minus armor. Hoku deciding, actually, I'm not going to die for this. That feels like a bad idea. Decides to back out. But right. Oh, my camera's going all over the place. Let's just go back over here. As we do see, the side of Collecting Countless Stars does indeed have Turnin. I know what I should do for quest next time. I may run a prediction next time to see what happens here, but I don't think there's a few. Ping coming out from collecting countless stars. It's not ping, but camp coming out from collecting countless stars. Greek is a little bit behind. Look, man, I'm not reporting the cameraman. Cameraman's just a little bit too many beersies. No beersies happened here. I'm just a little bit all over the place with my mouse sometimes. Right, now we're getting Hoku trying to turn in bottom. But no, it seems like Greg will at least scout out the teams, but Storm Talents are through now for both, so I'll briefly pull that up. No, I'm going to get rid of it because there is a fight. We see Climbable Unk does go in, gets hit immediately by Hoku. There is no one found with the light bomb. No, not light bomb, the Graviton Surge. Graviton Bomb. There we go. As we see Gazlo's actually first one go down as Falling Sword and Heaven's Fury was procced during it. Climbable Unk is the one in danger. Rest of the team Greg need to leave him be. Crosa taking a decent chunk of damage from Mind. We can see him with 22 gems, 400 health. But no, they're able to get out. Maybe Ear Cypher looking for that burst fire on them. Not quite finding it. We'll take out the front line of a minion wave, but it's about it. But no, we do see now that the side of collecting countless stars are going to turn in. They're still 11 short. But no, we can see Mind and Ear Cypher will get that turn in and get that done. Right, so Storm Talents. We do see, oh god, Bomb Toss Gazlo. I don't know. Intensifying Toxin Lunara. Fairy Protector Brightwing. Permanent Lifestealing Locust. Hive Master Anubarak. And Crushing Jaws upgrade. Engulfing Oblivion on Orphea. On the other side, we do see Heaven's Fury, Joanna, Farseer's Blessing, Rhaegar, Orbital Bombardment on the Artanis, Cannibal Junkrat, and Archon Pure Power by the Li Ming, which, interesting to see it, but I guess Greg doesn't have amazing poke into Li Ming. It really is just about Orphea is the main issue for Mind. Okay, Anubarak as well, if Anubarak can burrow all the way onto her, but she is playing very safely. She is very far back behind Hoku and Kafzir. Does walk into a stun and does actually get out of the Archon form. Meanwhile, we can see Chim Chim is being down the bottom one, but looks like there is going to be a fight maybe coming out. Nope, no fight. Snick takes a decent amount of their damage, decent amount of their health for that one interaction there. Almost down to a third by that point. And that's just the dangers of a Li Ming combo. Li Ming is that glass cannon with, ooh, a Q build actually. I didn't realize until now. Glass cannon, mirror ball with charge, well, with seeker. That's a lot of spell damage. If they hit all 5 globes into anyone, that may be well and truly that person going down. Synthesis puts a Dread straight under Mind. Doesn't quite hit the chomp after it. Both stun circles getting very annoying. Actually, good defense so far by Greg. Haven't lost a single thought. Chim Chim was rotating between the lanes to make sure they were able to clean everything up. And, well, we see that Greg are able to hold on to things because of it. Junkrat Trap stopping Climbable Unk dead in their tracks. And we can see now Turnin coming out for the side of collecting countless stars. They don't quite have back-to-backs, but they will at least be almost as close as Greg. Although Greg has a bit easier time collecting the gems currently, as they don't need to overextend too much for it. That's really concerning about microphone, actually. Didn't notice that until now. That's a really bad cable placement of this mic. Anyway. Are we going to have both teams looking at boss? Or at least both teams making sure the other team isn't doing boss? Let me close this. As the Ear Cypher just kind of melts that wave as they are 125 stacks into their Q quest. That's pretty good. Typically see, it's not typically completed in games per se. We actually see Greg is turning in bottom. Corrosive does have a larger portion of them because they're not there to turn in. They won't actually have hand in immediately. Corrosive does need to turn in. 13 of their gems will, sorry, 23 of their gems will do the job. See now Loon, or Snick is the one protecting it. Synthesis, Corrosive, and the rest of the team are playing very together, while Climbable Unk is very forwards compared to the rest of the team. But I guess they do have Burrow Charge to get out, so that is a given by any means. Wait, what does this do? Hell if I know what that means. Right, Wisp does find the enemy team. Protocol we've seen all 5, and actually New Wisp is out immediately. Mind taking it out, so very much Greg knows where Countless Stars is, which, to be fair, collecting Countless Stars then just ran straight at them, which you're definitely going to know where they are at that point, but hey, we'll see. Meanwhile, we see Brightwing is just in the offlane collecting what gems they can. However, Mind may collect their life if they're not careful. Nope, we see them turn around. And we see Red Web Weavers are descending. As a little bit maybe a misstep by Greg, as maybe turn in there. Hopefully doesn't seal the game for them. Web Weavers are coming out now, collecting countless stars with them in their favor this time. Mess ups happen, Corrosive. It's hard to say when and where they'll happen. It's too hard to tell, because obviously you don't want to lose a macro game. But we do now see that Web Weavers are coming up. That Archon Pure Power getting what damage it can out onto Climbable Uncle and Synthesis, and just the team in general. Mind just laser beaming everyone down. Steps up quite aggressively for a Archon Pure Power. We see Polymorph coming out of him, slowing them down for a little bit. Nice stun circle by Snick, just hitting them all. Stun. Uncle is going in, only finds Hoku, however, Mind then decides to drop it, goes in, nice Gravel Bomb. However, it is nullified by the Falling Sword, as just that Unstop does so much to break synergies. Unstoppable barely finds Snick. Snick now in danger, losing the health a lot, and actually there's also Corrosive, Blink healing in, being relatively low, but will also hold on. Mind trying to see if they can find the kill there, not quite able to. Fortunately, Disintegrate, pretty sustained damage, not really a big burst. But we can see now buildings are falling. 2 keeps going down in just that one phase. Sure, Greg was able to hold on, but at what cost? And now it looks like boss play is coming out from the side of collecting countless stars. Greg, no tech yet, and still another 30 seconds off. We'll have Wisp to scout it, so now maybe the time that you send someone, a certain fairy dragon, to hand in. Look at the safe play, just like, no, I don't want to be in there, guys, eh? If they invade, I'm going to be on this side of a wall where it's safe. Don't want to deal with that. They have like one person get on top of me. I'm not too concerned. But we can see Turn-In does go over to the side of Greg. So it should help alleviate a lot of the pressure. They still have a boss to deal with, however, and that boss this Sandstone Golem, whatever it's called, can still do a lot of siege by itself, but it is getting burnt down as there isn't a team to deal with it. Corrosive does actually scout the side of collecting countless stars, but there's not too much we can do about it. We can see that collecting countless stars are just now burning Web Weavers as we speak. And none of these Web Weavers are actually particularly far up. It's a very defensive turn-in now with how the waves are after that last one that happened. Has a call gone out on Artanis here? Like, they know where they are. They've seen them go for vision. And this beetle reveals maybe a lot. We know we can see Artanis is riding on out, not wanting to deal with that, and they will get out safely. And once again, we have both teams playing very together, neither team wanting to make that mistake that leads them to the game ending. We can see now, actually, think about mistakes, this may be it. As you see now, a nice Riptide coming out from Junkrat. There's a Falling Sword. Gravity Bomb actually finds 3 members this time. Then we see that as a Concussion Mine pulling everyone, well actually no, a Gravity Bomb pushing everyone back in with the Crushing Jaws. But no, it looks like everyone's getting relatively low. Chim Chim is low, Synthesis is low, Corrosive's low. Every single member having to back out. And actually we see if a Minion Wave takes out the Lunara, then Li Ming is able to find the kill onto Orphea thanks to that one reset by the Minion Wave, so they are able to chase down. Not quite having hand in, but now do have a number advantage. You are 26 minutes in, 24v24. That may be an end call by the side of collecting countless stars. Yeah, and it looks like they are marching to core. As without the damage dealers, there isn't too much that can really dislodge collecting countless stars at this point. You have Farseer's Blessing up still. You can get through a lot of the damage. You can see Corrosive is getting chased by Capsia. Capsia doing a decent amount. Mine just burning it from afar. Climbable Unk did try to get on top of them. You can see that they are getting burnt down. And that actually is Mind. Nope. Mind is going to go down. However, Core is going down as well. And that looks to be game 1 going over to the side of collecting countless stars. GG's to both sides. Right, let me swap over to the game summary screen and see how that game played out. In terms of stats, Junkrat had a lot of siege, my god. A lot of siege, a lot of hero damage. 273k siege compared to 88k hero damage. But meanwhile, Gaslow actually had the most hero damage of a game, sitting at a pretty 101k with 20k soak compared to Junkrat's 23k soak. Meanwhile, Brightwing and Rhaegar very close on healing, roughly only 4k in it, which is impressive considering we're around the 130k on average between the two. So one just 1k below that, the other 3k above that. Pretty good stuff from both healers. Right, and let's have a look at my mic tilting for no reason. Looking at the talents, anything that stands out in particular, apart from Taste for Explosions, and, well, actually, yeah, Junkrat's one, interesting to say the least, just picked everything that looks like a Junkrat ball, which, fair enough, it works. Archon Pure Power, definitely something you don't see picked up very often, if at all. Otherwise, these two talents are another one, because it's more often not you see Cocoon in NGS. So Locust Swarm, definitely an interesting pickup. Didn't quite work out this time, but I know it does work out for Climbable Unk quite a bit. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it to map view screen and see where we are going next. As I say, we will see where we're going next, because I believe I know what it is. I hope it's not Infernal Shrines. It's probably Infernal Shrines. It's always Infernal Shrines. It's always Infernal Shrines. It always comes back to it. Nope, it's Dragonshire. I love this map. I wish I could play it, but nope. Sore arm, and I was asleep. Thank you to our medication that helps make it less sore. I slept through this whole match. I was really disappointed I did that because I wanted to support the team, but if no one casts it except me, it really does not help. But we do have Dragonshire, which I'm just opening up now. So either, well, I know how this ends, but either Greg comes back here or the side of collecting countless stars will close out. But without further ado, let's get into the game in just a few moments, shall we? I'll switch it now. Oh, perfect timing. Let's go. So let's start the side of collecting countless stars this time. As we do see, Kafzia is back on Joanna. Demon 13 is on Brightwing. Mind is on the... I really shouldn't. Li Ming once again. Demon 13 on Brightwing. Hoku on Blaze and ES Cypher on the Tychus. And on the other side, we have Sneck on the Dahaka. Corrosive is on the Rhaegar. Climbable Unk on Cassia. Chim Chim is on Kael'thas. And Symphysis is on Diablo. So a little bit of roll swap by that side, but it does look like they're not with their usual tank today. Right. Well, I just saw the vision circle here. I'm like, what the hell's down there? And it is Mind. Mind is down there. Minding their own business. I'm funny, laugh. Anyway, we do see that the side of... Well, actually just both teams are poking. It's going to be poke, clear wave, see where we go as Sneck is starting to rotate up. I imagine Hoku will not be too far to follow. But in terms of quests, none for the side of collecting countless stars. Kind of disappointing. But on the other side, we do have regenerative tissue by the Dahaka, Thunderstroke Cassia, and Mana Shield on the Kael'thas. And all while Rhaegar is healing them up as well as they can with that totem build. Otherwise, interesting we see Grenade build Tychus, but I guess that is more popular at the moment, so it makes sense. Corrosive bites into Mind taking a little bit of damage from that doggy bite. Fortunately, no rabies on that Rhaegar, and that dog is not going to cause too much medical damage. Meanwhile, we can see Climbable Unk is rotating between their lanes. They're trying their best to just get every soak. Demon 13 did want to interrupt that rotation, however, Climbable Unk did make it around the queue. Brightwing not quite effective at stopping that this time. And we can see that first siege camp is picked up by the side of collecting countless stars. It looks like Greg won't be too far to follow, well, provided there is no major invade going on. Right, let me close this now. As we do see Kafzia was hit with stun by Kael'thas at wind slowing them down. Right, now I actually want to get something going. As we do see objectives are over to the side of Greg. We see a nice stun coming out of Brightwing. Brightwing actually taking a decent amount of damage already. Our half health for a Brightwing is not amazing this early on. That's why probably. I want to find something out. Sorry, typing is taking a while. We do see that there is the talents being picked up. No. Sure. Let's see if this works. Let's just start this prediction and see what happens. Got it. Right. If anyone wants to, let's go. Also, hi Raka, hope you're doing well. You can bet channel points, because will Joe complete Subdue? I know everyone likes gambling, so here's a thing to gamble on. Right, but we do see now that objective bottom is being held by the side of collecting countless stars, while top is being held by Dahaka. Snick is just vibing up there, doing his own thing. Also, welcome Hurley, hope you're doing well today. I'm still on Li Ming apparently, because that's always how this works. Right, let's zoom back out. Objectives are currently being channeled by the side of Greg. So collecting countless stars does need to keep an eye on it. And we see Demon 13 is watching. Corrosive going to be stalled out that little bit longer. Corrosive picking up the globes. Mind looking for a decent sized orb onto the Rhaegar, but no dice there. Mind couldn't quite find it. Meanwhile, we see that Synthesis gets very aggressive, however, not really of a follow-up there for what they're wanting to do. And that will be a charge onto a hero without too much coming from it. Let me have a look at this. Okay, so people are really... Either, I assume it's going to be Huli who put the 10 on yes. We have a lot of faith from the Huli and not much else from the rest. I feel like it's going to be the case. We do see charge coming out. Joanna actually going down to half health from that one interaction. Taking a decent amount of damage, needing to pop Iron Skin, so not too much more happens. Meanwhile, Mind is poking it down nonetheless. Not Junkrat. Tyke is actually taking bottom point. We do see they have gone that kind of wave clear build with Q. And Snick is in danger now. The Space Yoshi is in danger, but does get out. Speaking about in danger, Tychus is taking a lot of damage and will go down just before Phase Shift can indeed go off. And that will be another kill. Well, actually, the first blood of the game going over to the side of Greg. And I can't believe we've actually gotten through 4.5 minutes, 7 levels worth of game to get to this point. Because some games, you can see it go like, I don't know, maybe... Yeah, it is. Some games you very much see it go maybe 30 seconds and then there's a kill. But this game, almost 9 times that. Wait. No, that's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 9 times that. I was right, actually. But no, we see Cleanse is used by Demon 13. Corrosive is going to be... Kafzia is going to be held out while Corrosive gets the... Oh my god, Kafzia and Corrosive is going to really confuse me. But we can see it now. Is objective going over the side of Greg? Let's have a check. Any subduers? Nope, no subdue completed yet. Kafzia getting kicked over the wall. And goes, actually, I'll just mount and come straight back, mate. You're not going to stop me that easily. And we do see that is Joanna coming in. And meanwhile, the side of Greg is just going to rotate down with Synthesis. It may slow them down, but doesn't really want to risk their life too much by the looks of it. Kafzia goes for a nice blind to Synthesis. Doesn't quite find what they're looking for, but now Heroics are through. And we can see that isolation on Dahaka. We can see Ball Lightning, Cassia. Lightning Breath on the Diablo. Phoenix on, well, Kael'thas. And what are you going, Corrosive? I imagine it's not going to be all of us. Bloodlust. I imagine it's Ancestral. And yep, we do indeed see Ancestral healing. That's Dragonite going down, and that's a decent amount of value. However, we do see Brightwing is stunned. Will Synthesis give a charge onto them? No. Oh, not quite finding the stun, and that will actually be Demon Feeding going out. We see that is Snick getting very close. Phoenix dropped as well. A lot of abilities really going out for this Brightwing. We can see Snick does use that the traits that they have, that tissue regeneration, and will just get back most of their, if not all their health. Right, and in terms of Heroics, so collecting countless stars, we actually see Blizzard Shield on Joe this time. Blink Heal Brightwing, Commandeer Odin Tychus, Wave of Force and Li Ming, Repulsion's heroic, the Storm Talent, sorry. And we do see cooldown Bunker drop at that level 10 for Blaze. Right, Joanna's getting hold out pretty well, but no, she eventually does pop Iron Skin to come on. Chim Chim taking some amount of damage. Ancestral barely coming out in Chim Chim time, but no, this Li Ming is uncontested where she is, getting so much extra damage, and she gets a double kill with that one orb. Chim Chim also getting relatively low, will go down next, and that is a freed kills over to the side of collecting countless stars. Not ideal if you're them, but hey, Hurley doesn't get his big payout yet. Joanna did not complete Subdue, so no one gets that prediction quite yet. Meanwhile, we do see a nice little scuffle once again happen between Snick and Hoku. We do see Symphysis losing a lot of health. Does charge on to Ear Cypher. Ear Cypher doing what damage they can. Symphysis giving a good old run around. 120 health, 50 health. Nope, they'll be them going down. Tychus, no one for their tank killing abilities. Hooli, if you don't win, you're not getting anything back. I'm sorry to tell you. But no, that will be fought going down for Greg, and Greg will not be getting that back either. There is no mule, there is no resurrect for building, and that will be now objective will be called coming up now. Camp coming out from the side of Greg. Important to get that siege camp out. It is still a decent amount of damage of experience. And actually we see with those few kills, it is now collecting countless stars in the experience lead. Just 13's popping through now. We see both objectives being picked up by Greg. However, collecting countless stars does have a decent view on vision here. But Greg is just looking to balance out the buildings. They don't care for the Dragon Knight. They want to make this even, and even it is. Which is necessary. Also, fun fact, the reason why I'm going off for predictions, I'm using quests instead of anything like who wins, who loses. You can't see if they complete a quest on Hero's profile. You can't see who wins. You can't see who completed you can't see if Subdue is completed or anything like that. Chim Chim takes an orb to face. That is a reset on Triumvirate doing decent amounts of damage at this point. Symphysis getting charged on Mind. Mind actually going out. We see that is Ancestor onto Symphysis. Symphysis maybe not wanting to be here. However, Demon 13 takes a lot of damage. And meanwhile, Tahaka did manage to find the Dragon Knight. So Dragon Knight will be pushing into the fortress now. Already taking a decent amount of damage actually. Mind getting those full Leeming combos off of the DK. The DK going down pretty quickly. It was, does Joe get Subdue this game? Which actually, now I want to check Hero's profile. Am I right? Am I correct in this? Of course, downloading the game would be cheap, but no, Hoku is actually going to get slammed to a corner. We see they're going to bunker. Can they actually get over wall from bunker? No, but they can try to get out. We heard the charge go off. Wasn't found. There's the charge again. Phase shift coming out. That's Hoku taking a lot of damage. That is a lot, actually more than much more survivability than I thought. We see Chim Chim does throw out every ability, and know that Symphysis going down. And this, what looks like was going to be a bad moment for the side of collecting countless stars, is now a problem for Greg. Greg is in danger of getting almost a full wipe here, as Corrosive is in dog form, running as fast as they can. The Leeming doesn't quite find follow-up with the arcane missile, the magic missiles, and that will be a longer, so a good moment for survivability for Greg there. And it looks like we're going to get very aggressive on the fort here. It very much is that collecting countless stars. I just want to take this building. They're doing very well at just controlling that as needed. Yeah, you can't see if quest is completed on Hero's profile. Interesting. Red team destroyed a fort, so they do get back on out. Talents are now picked up for the side of collecting countless stars. Not level 16s, I should say, are picked up for collecting countless stars, so they do have that level lead. Leeming does do a little bit of help with the camp. That's very nice of her. But however, camp will be found, and now collecting countless stars are just going to push in to Greg's middle fort. That's interesting, though. Right, let's go back here so I know what's happening. Right. It looks like they're looking at a camp steal. It's not the best at the moment to go into that. It looks like Greg is very hesitant to move in. 16 to 15 currently levels, experience advantage. Corrosive, very aggressive half, does move just before they get full comboed by Mind. That would have been what we call a bit disastrous. And actually we see that Snick has taken the top objective already. So it will slow down at least collecting countless stars for a little bit, especially if Hoku goes in with no cares in the world. Greg about to take a fight down, talent. Please don't, guys. Oh, actually, we do see Kafzia is getting dove onto. Actually gets hit by a very big stun train. Right wing actually getting the cleanse onto Joe so they can Iron Skin. Turn around, Blessed Shield. We see Corrosive bites in. That's a bold dog. But no, we see that dog is decided to back out. and not do too much else. Meanwhile, there is a fight going out. We see Isolation hitting for Blaze. Blaze is a very small sight circle. But it is, once again, both objectives are being held by Greg currently. So it'll be interesting if we just get defense here. We see Hoku going on objective, and Sneak is just going, you know what, I'm just going to come on up now. Interesting, we see the speed boost used by Viet just before we get Sneak on the objective. Doesn't quite dodge the stun by Hoku, but we do see a fight coming in here. Nice double stun by... Oh, and actually Lightning Breath barely finds for Li Ming. I thought Li Ming was out of it, but no, they're going to get tickled by the very end of that Lightning Breath, and we them going down. We see charge coming at Cafzia with a follow-up flip. No Iron Skin for them this time, but they do have enough speed, thank you to that level 7, to get out of too much danger, as they do have that 5% bonus, 10% bonus baseline, and 30% when they are, well, when they do have W active. And 16s have only just come through now. Sips is finding a charge on Hoku. Hoku in danger. They need to use Bunker to get out. But will they? Yep, they do jump out into the bush. And that is Blaze running as fast as they can, popping that adrenaline stim back, giving themselves, is it 10% extra move speed. And it's now Dragon Knight going over to the side of Greg. So while collecting countless stars are doing better in these straight up fights, Greg is finding a lot more of these objectives, and it's actually keeping them pretty well in this. But they do have two pretty good tanks to keep the side of collecting countless stars away from the person turning in. They really need to stop giving Li Ming resets, is probably the biggest takeaway from this. But they are still doing very well with the general pressure they are providing. Hoku getting excellent stun, however, we see Hoku is given the boot, so to speak. A lot of damage coming out. That is Brightwing just having a bad time. Getting flipped quite a few times, as we do see overpowering Nightmare. Yes, overpowering Nightmare was picked up by the Diablo, and that will be Capsia taking a decent amount of damage as well, but will not go down yet. Chim Chim does get their Dragonite popped, still taking a decent amount of damage. ES Cypher stepping up a little bit, maybe a little bit too much. Keep in mind, Dahaka did actually back, so they're not with the team yet. I imagine we're going to see Brush Talk bottom. Yep, we do. But that'll be that fight over. Keep in mind, Corrosive is actually running out of mana, so we're a little bit lighter on resources for Greg, but they are going to take this well enough. There it is. Subdue still not completed. Gotta point that out. Right. And meanwhile, the team of Greg goes behind the gate with that Bruiser camp. Gonna take the fort and just back on out. Just escaping through the still up gate. Not quite wanting to deal with too much. Also, thank you for following Corrosive. I just noticed that now. Speaking of which, Corrosive is going home back to their base. Not wanting to deal with too much extra issues. And we can see that the side of Greg are going to start their Bruiser camp. So they're now found their kind of momentum and they're flipping the switch. Capsia does find Greg there. It looks like Mind is wanting to throw in some damage as well, but won't find. Wait, is that only 3 missiles? No, it's 5. It's mirrorable. I just missaw that, I guess. You can now see that Greg really is painting the map blue. The only things that aren't blue is the bottom camp, which is red, and that yellow siege camp still not capped by anyone. The same that I saw Li Ming arcane missile, magic missile out the corner of my eye. Yep. They take the camp, be like, actually, we're not having anything else stolen. We're going to take our own camp before you can... Is someone going to... Yep. Yeah, Cypher, you went quite on it, but I do like the effort being there. This can still go either way. Storm Talents are found first for collecting countless stars. We do see Invisible Friends right wing. We see Big Red Button on Tychus. We see that it is Telrash's Elements Li Ming. Radiating Faith on Joe, and I imagine we're going to see Burn Notice Tychus, but I'm always more a fan of Fortified Bunker myself. And it looks like that we're getting very safe play from the side of Greg until they have those Storm Talents. But there we go, we see Fortified Bunker. Probably my preferred heroic Storm Talent from players, but I do wish he had a 4th option. Almost every other hero has 4 options, just not him. I think the only other one is... I can see the face. Maev. I think Maev is the only other one. Right, it is now Storm Talent, so Storm Talent, so we're going to get a big fight coming out here. So to quickly touch on it, we have Contagion, we have Farseer's Blessing, we have a fight coming out, never mind, we're running out of time. As that is Hellgate being used in Synthesis, however, that Splash Healer may have helped everyone a bit more than... May have helped a bit more if they didn't get anything done. We see Isolation maybe have gone out. Vera's Lightning Breath as ES Cypher and Demon 13 going down. Capsia also relatively low, Hoku dropping Bunker behind them, getting a decent amount of damage onto them. But Big Red Button did find one last hit before he went down. And there's Kefsia and Mind escaping as much as they can. Climbable Unk did not want to eat a full combo, turned around at the last moment, which probably saved them. But no, that is a nice double kill for the side of Greg, and now they have control of the game. Hopefully, they don't mess this up. Meanwhile, we do see Hoku and Kefsia are stepping up to stop this turn-in. But no, they decide to back out. And this is now a Dragon Knight without Tychus. Tychus does a decent amount of it thanks to the bigger they are. Fortunately, the Dragon Knight will actually get affected by it, which is good for defensive tools, but now we're here. What's going to happen? As it is Li Ming, who can still do a decent amount of Dragon Knight, did a large amount to Corrosive. Corrosive probably a bit scared at that point, went, but no, Corrosive does get to live. Mind probably needs to get the boot. No, it's on Blaze instead. So now we do have Greg going to core, but it is now all the members of Collecting Countless Stars up. Sneck does get hit by those stones. Corrosive is the one going down, and that will be them following. Actually, Kalphus is going, so Dragon Knight is now backpedaling as well. Does kick Hoku out of the way, but now this is a Diablo in a rock in a hard place. Does get hit by one stun. Will they get hit by all of them? We do see a stun coming out. However, Fire Stomp will not heal them back up to full. Soulstone, however, was full, so they will get to live. Oh, come back to life, at least, I should say, in a very short amount of time. Just keep in mind, this means that Diablo is now an incredibly flimsy tank. He is not healthy at all. He is going to have a rough time. And Li Ming is just peppering this down. But really, it's not the best position for Collecting Countless Stars to end. They're not really in a position to do so just because there is so much structure up. And despite there being pretty good ways to kill people, the ways to kill buildings aren't amazing. I also want to mention there are two more Storm talents I didn't mention. Well, that is being Infinite Lightning on Cassia and the Flame Strike Kalphus. Or Flame Thrower Kalphus, I should say. This building's slowly going down, but no, they don't quite find it as all 5 members of Greg are now up. They decide to back out. They're not quite wanting to do anything too dumb. However, they will just take this fort on the way out. We see Corrosive drops a totem, slowing everyone down. Hoku maybe staying a bit longer would have been like Kefsia finding a nice Blessed Shield. And actually that'll be Diablo going up first. And Ancestral Healing was actually cancelled. It's not often you see it cancelled, but there's a nice double kill for the side of Collecting Countless Stars, but they lose Hoku in the process. That Blaze going down, not the best timing either. And we're seeing Li Ming get some orb reset again. That minion wave eats a lot of Li Ming's damage here. Mind not quite getting it as much as they like. Orb fighting building. And that is the last force of the game finally going down. Right. We see the side of Collecting Countless Stars going to this bottom camp. However, 3 members of Greg are not too far away. Okay. So it is now Collecting Countless Stars knows where Greg is. Greg not so sure on the other side. And they will actually be Collecting Countless Stars getting that objective, well, getting that camp done without being sniffed out. Yeah, sniffed out. We can see, however, Sneck did decide to burrow top, so they will not have Brush Stalker for a little bit. But at least we'll stop the side of Collecting Countless Stars from capping Dragon Knight, because they've only just gone free spawn now, and that is everyone up as Hoku is also up now. So bottom is over to Collecting Countless Stars, top is over to Greg. Are we going to have a good old brawl in the middle, or is one team going to be able to get aggressive onto the other? Are we getting a camp call from Greg as well? Yes, we are. Keep in mind, there is a Bruiser camp pushing down bottom this whole time, which will make it much easier for Greg to push it in. I'm not fast forwarding anything. I don't fast forward. We can just get everyone following around. Oh, I know. I think I know why we want it fast forwarded now. You wanted that fast forwarded, Corrosive? Because it's not. That wasn't fast forwarded. We got all of that on camera. But we do now see that this is this building going down as 2 members of Greg was caught out. We see a nice isolation actually coming out from Dark. It didn't quite cancel Blaze charge, but somehow still went out. Bunker dropped by Blaze. Loon using that, Sneck using that knockback from their level 4 to slow things down. And actually, this is not quite as successful a core call as maybe we would like. We see Synthesis is trying to slow down ES Cypher. Meanwhile, Hoku's actually taking a lot of damage. They're actually dropping down 200 health, 900 health, 100 health, and actually that Lightning Breath will take them down. And we see Brightwing going down. Lightning Breath has found a lot of kills this game. ES Cypher uses dash. We do see a stun going out on the wall, and we do see them flipped down to 400. And this being a 3v5 has actually turned into suddenly a 3v2. As Chim, Synthesis, and Sneak alone have been able to hold the call for the side of Greg. And we may now get a core call. No, I don't imagine. Oh, we may actually do get a core call. As we do see all 5 members of Collecting Countless of Greg are up, while 3 members of Collecting Countless Stars still need to respawn. Chim is going to start. I have many questions about that ordering. We see Chim does start the camp. Kafzia is going to keep an eye on mid. And now we're going to get the team pushing into them. Wait, has Kafzia completed quest? No. Clamble Unk does get stalled a little bit. Kafzia doing their best to make sure they can not do it. But now we have Synthesis going onto them. It is going to stall them out. We see Dragon Knight is picked up by Chim. Blessed Shield used by Joanna to make sure no one else does anything. And we can see now Dragon Knight is going to march down the lane. And this is a 23-minute DK. This can do a lot of damage. And Kafzia is going to get kicked. Not quite into the field goal, but still a pretty good boot. Right, Dragon Knight is now at core, going to start wailing it. Synthesis is there as well. You can see all 5 members of Greg are on it. Meanwhile, ES Cypher has just respawned. And this core is actually dropping pretty quickly. They're fighting under that second tower, however, that is core going to 10, 4, 2, and done. So second get... It wasn't Huli is the answer. So the second game is going over to the side of Greg. And just to choose outcome, no. Complete prediction. Complete. And there it is. Huli officially lost their 10 points. Anyway, let's go over to the game summary screen. As we can see here, Kael'thas actually had most siege and most hero damage for the side of Greg. Meanwhile, Blaze had it for most siege for Collecting Countless Stars, and Li Ming had almost 40k, yeah, barely just under 40k more than Kael'thas, just 39 point whatever. Healing, wait, once again, Rhaegar and Brightwing are very close, 6k difference, pretty close. And in terms of Soak, experience Soaked, that's actually Dahaka taking that with 20k, and Blaze taking it with 17. Looking at talents, anything that stands out in particular, interesting we don't see race car Dahaka, but the tissue regeneration did pay off. Enhanced agility may have, but it's too hard to tell in these situations as it was such a quick one. And Mind is really liking that Q build. Q build really isn't that popular outside of Battlefield of Eternity. Battlefield of Eternity, it's probably the go-to talent. It is weird that it happens like that, but it's because not many people look at replays. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Anything else of note? Not really. It's all relatively standard outside of that. Yeah, so let me flip it on over to the game map view screen, and we'll find out what the next map is to give us, shall we? As we had Dragonshy go over to Greg. What is our last map of the series before I have to prepare for my next series, which will be a live one, so we'll end the stream and have a little bit of break of food and water after this. And we actually have Garden of Terror. Again, not something you see very often, but should be interesting to see how this one goes. We have some interesting heroes pick. Huh. I guess you guys will see it when we get into the game, so let me have a look at everything. Yep, this all makes sense, and let's swap it on over to the game. I'm gonna say it immediately because it's gonna happen. We have Hoku on Murky. Murky is something you do not see much in NGS, so it'll be very interesting to see how this pays off. Mind is on the White main. There we go. ES Cypher is on the I'm just looking at it going, wow. Phoenix, Demon 13 on not Rixar. Wow. Thrall, I'm very tired as you can tell. And Kafazia is on Varian, I imagine, Taunt this time. Meanwhile, we have Snick on the Gazlo, Clamble Unk on Cassia. Chim is on the Joanna, Corrosive back on Rhaegar, and Synthesis on Greymane. Not something I think we've seen picked up this season, but should be interesting. Right, keep in mind, Murky's already gone to Narnia. Murky wants his pufferfish stacks. I wonder who they'll send up. Will they send up Sneak? Yep, they are sending out Sneak to deal with a Murloc. And if I think maybe it may be better to send a Greymane to deal with it. Greymane will actually be quite hard for Murky to kill and get it off pretty well. Demon 13 is sitting just below the bush, as Thrall is looking for a good old Q stack or a few. What are we? Actually, no, we are rolling Thunder, so that percent damage from Demon 13. Other quests to note, we do have Lion's Maw. I do like Lion's Maw, even with Taunt build. This extra slow on it, the extra CC does so much. Bribe, I guess, technically is a quest. This fish technically has Bribe as a quest. We see Climbable Unk is going Thunderstroke, and we do see Advanced Targeting on Ear Cypher. Well, Capsia is making sure that the side of Clayton Countless Stars aren't getting invaded. Actually, Bruiser Camp's already done. Rhaegar is starting Siege, and we see Greymane is taking top Siege. We're getting a very aggressive camp start from the side of Greg here. We can see Siege has only just been taken now by Collecting Countless Stars. Meanwhile, Murky's been rotating down. They may be a bit sick of a certain Gazlo, a certain Goblin in their lane, ruining their time in terms of trying to stack Pufferfish. Quiz. We don't see a fishy deal getting too far off the ground yet. But level 4's go through. Where's Taunt? There's Taunt. Other than that, we have Frostwolf Pack from the Thrall. That's an interesting one. I do like it. Okay, we're doing the same one. Start a prediction. Start prediction. Will Joe complete Subdue? Yes or no? What do we think? Start. Got it. And good luck. Good luck betting points again. We see Hoku is taking a decent amount of damage from this minion wave camp, actually. Meanwhile, Joanna has already started objective bottom. And Corrosive is going to be one channeling it. It looks like no one is actually wanting to step into it. And actually, a Murloc died mid. Being taken down, actually top by the Siege Giants, I'd imagine. Where is Egg? Oh, there is Egg. Hoku already coming back up. Demon 13 doing well to get rid of it. Yeah, but Hooli. But Hooli. What if you win it? What if you bet yes and you win? And we do actually see Thrall going down. Frostwolf Resilience not quite going off. Someone bet yes. Let a coward bet yes. But no, we do see that as the next Bruiser Camp going over to the other side of Gregors. Greg is getting very aggressive this game, and actually that prediction will just... We have a potential of people just losing their stuff. But right, it is now level 7 through for the side of Greg, collecting Countless Stars a little bit behind as they're just getting... 5 of the 6 camps on map are already over to the side of Greg, which is pretty impressive. Right, so let's see how this goes. If they are getting chased out mid, we do have a very decent split from them. Synthesis and Aggressive Bush. Wanting to see what happens there, but we'll start channeling objective. Chim Chim holding out Kafzia and Mind. So Synthesis is going to get it in time. We see Kafzia going in. Didn't actually commit Taunt to it, as there is a little bit disconnect between the team themselves. And we do actually see that Ear Cypher is pushing in bottom. Not contested at the moment. But we do see Climbable Unk is going to defend against him, making sure that not too much is gotten away with. Nice little splash damage from Ear Cypher, getting those big auto attacks off. That siege mode is active. Meanwhile, we can see that Sneak and Hoku is still fighting top, not ever wanting to give that wave. Actually, how many stacks of it is Murky at? 2 stacks of a fishy deal, so we may see Murky getting a bit aggressive soon with their steals. However, it looks like Greg isn't really leaving the chance to do so, as Synthesis is currently picking up that siege camp. Top one is still up, so maybe Hoku thinks about that. We can see they thought about it, but not with Snick keeping such a close eye on them. They're not going to be able to. But no, it looks like they're going there now. Those 2 stacks of a fishy deal are going to be enough to... oh, is Synthesis going to get there in time? No, they do not. They do see Hoku. They do dive onto the Murky. Murky bubbles actually pretty early on there as Sin just really dove onto them to get into that Worgen form. Taunt coming out onto Cassia, and Cassia will go down. Unfortunately for Cassia, if they can't move, such as in a taunt, they will more than likely go to... oh, I should have gone for that. I didn't realize why Julius was picked up. I would have done something about that. But no. Here we are, already too late. And yeah, this is likely this seed going over to the side of collecting countless stars, but there's no guarantee as we're just going to have a Gazlo slowly throwing bombs at people trying to turn it in. Oh. Yeah, Cypher decides to go directly on top of Snick. Meanwhile, Greymane actually found a kill onto Murky. Mind is now channeling it over and will get cancelled out by the stun from Joe. And Joe nearly actually committed there. They got 3 of the 4 members, but not quite. And that will be Mind going down. We see that will be a Gravabon coming out. I didn't realize we were that far already. And Capsia will be next to follow. That being... yeah, that being a good free kill. It's going over the side of Greg, but kind of neglecting the seed. That seed will actually be handing... that seed will be the plant tiers going down, so they probably should get that done, but hey, they don't have to. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm just heavily suggesting that probably is the best play for them. And we do see Climball Unk is picking it up, and it looks like that Greg is wanting just to drive it bottom. Maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like they're just wanting to drive it bottom, see if they can get a keep. Here's Cypher going very aggressive, does blink over wall, leaving Demon 13 alone, so to speak, on an island. But yeah, we did see Gravabomb was used there. We do see Ancestral Healing. Rhaegar, Blessed Shield on Joanna. Oh, not Curse Bullet, but we see go for the Throat on Greymane and Ball Lightning Cassie. On the other side, we see obviously Taunt Varian, which we do see come out there. We see Gravo like to come out, there it is, but we do have too many members of Team Greg in that Divine Reckoning, so everyone holds on for a bit, but it'll eventually be Varian going down as Gazlo finishes that kill. Also, we have Earthquake Thrall, we have Meme Beam by, I can't remember what it's called, Planet Cracker by the Phoenix, and Octograd Murky. So, actually that's a combo that has been seen before. Just, you see someone get octoed and then... oh, I can't remember his name. Phoenix pushes a button on top of whoever gets octoed, and they should, in theory, most of the time die. But we may not see that this time as the team is just playing a bit too safe, and Hoku is dying a bit too quickly for anyone to get found like that. Joanna is noting that they have Blessed Shield up soon. The wave is getting cleared. I imagine that everyone is looking for a fight sooner or later, and this may be it. Right. Camp's being picked up by Greg once again. We hear Beam going off. However, Climball Unk did not go down. They took a decent amount of damage, but no, it will not be the Cassia falling, despite the Octo Meme Beam combo being used. I really should stop calling it Meme Beam, shouldn't I? It is Planet Cracker. I should really call it Planet Cracker, but it's fun to call things meme names. But we do see now that Ancestral is used early by Corrosive, actually. We're a bit scared of being all-in after Thrall hit the Frost Wolf onto them. Not Frost Wolf. Spirit Wolf onto them, that's what it's called. But no, they will not quite get too much damage pumped in on them yet, and we'll just back out to safety. Which, honestly, is all you can ask for if you're getting hit by Frost Wolf with all 5 members of... Frost Wolf? Spirit Wolf, when you have all 5 members of the enemy team just in front of you. Meanwhile, we can see Murky is having to fend from camps. Camps are pushing him pretty well. So that may be Octo up, yes, but it is no Murky in, well, range to do anything about it. So they are going to have a pretty easy objective going over to the side of Greg once again. And I don't think that it has been... oh, never mind, we're going up here. Synthesis does use Wall to dive out that Worgen form. That Dark Flight does so much. Climball Uncle does go in for a protect. That 1 second extra just keeping them alive for the team to get there. We do see that is Gravel Bomb going out, Cafetier being sucked in. However, Demon 13 is first one to go down, as Thrall is first to go. Mind being getting relatively low as well. They didn't quite have Divine Reckoning up yet, and that's the triple kill now for Synthesis, as Greg is now going to march it down the lane. They do find Murky's egg, so Murky will have an exclamation mark over the head as they have to back out, because obviously without egg, Murky dies pretty much immediately. If they die, at least, they do have that normal cooldown of respawn timer, not the 8 seconds they get while egg is up. Meanwhile, we do see that Greg is just marching to core top. They do not really care for the seed this time. They know they don't need to give it. Collecting countless stars aren't going to get plant tearers off of it, so there's no point stopping the train going through the fort. Meanwhile, we do see Air Cypher is backing up now. They're not quite wanting to be too risky with their positioning, as Greg is kind of near them, so to speak. Murky is looking to steal Siege as it's coming up, but we see that Murloc. There is nothing quite for their 2 stacks just yet, and actually the closest is their own camp, which would be a bit dangerous to do while, well, Greg is there. But maybe look to see that Greg is going to steal that camp. We see Octo coming up, and actually that isn't anything that comes from it. It is just Octo used. We don't even see Puffer drop. And that will be Seed going over to the side of Greg once again. Right, we have collecting countless stars being pushed into now. Egg was killed. Murky backpedaling wherever they may be. Actually, no. Murky moved Egg at the last moment. I thought it was in there before, but they have moved it to behind. To a bit of a safer point, which, fair enough. You don't want to be losing Egg quite that way. And there is the Planet Cracker. Doesn't quite find anyone. Very healthy split between the teams. See a Ball Lightning coming out, getting decent amount of damage out. There's Ancestral Clump Unk. Actually, not quite getting the full heal of it, because, well, not quite staying at full health, because they did actually take a decent amount of damage. So good timing there by that. But that was Thrall going down next. We do see that is then Varian and Murky following. Egg was moved to an even safer point, going back all the way to the fort. We can see Greg is running it down. Once again, Seed is up. If they get the Seed, that is Plant Terror is going to be marching straight to core. However, core is looking like it's already going to start going down before anything else. We can see actually Chim Chim getting relatively low, does get polymorphed. And actually Greybane is up to 17 stacks of Wise and Duelist. That's the most I've seen in a while. Corrosive is taking damage, jumps on the Ear Cypher. Ear Cypher will go down. GG called. And that is the game and the series going over to the side of Greg. Well done, both teams. Nicely played. But right, let's go over the game summary screen and see how that match went. Oh, choose prediction outcome. Choose outcome. No. Joe did not get it. I could have been mean and refunded points, but it didn't matter either way. Yeah, Siege can actually get a lot of value when left untended. But looking at stats, we do see that in terms of Siege, Phoenix and Gazlo are actually pretty close. In terms of Soak, it however goes over to Cassia and Murky both getting up there. Well, yeah, I can. But Hooli, you bet wrong. That's on you, buddy. Don't bet wrong next time. It's a bit easy to. It's a bit hard to say that. Other than that, we do see Whitemane actually had the most damage for collecting countless stars, while it is Cassia for the side of Greg. Healing, Whitemane 27k, Corrosive 44k, so a bit more in favor of Greg that map than the other ones, which I guess it does happen from time to time. Sometimes it's pretty even, sometimes not as much. But let me throw it over to map view screen and let's have a summary. So, after all that, we do see map 1 was taken in by collecting countless stars on Tomb of the Spider Queen, so in all honesty, that is a good start for them. Actually, the first 2 games, very close. It could have gone either way in both those games, but that final game of Garden of Terror, very much in Greg's favor, so they took to map 2 and the series in map 3. But that has... Okay, but Raka, there's people on both sides. Not this last one, but the team who had it won, so either way. But in the other one, Hooli bet 10, didn't quite find it, as the other team did bet something, and they lost it fair and square. But that has been it for me for now. I will be having a little bit of lunch before I get into the actual live cast I have in 45 minutes. I do have Division B East coming up first, and then Division D West coming up after that. So that will be it for me for now. That will be it for the line bus. To everyone watching, I wish you a good morning, good evening, afternoon, depending where you are in the world. And I'll see you all in the Nexus. Goodbye, at least for now.